Hey, what's going on, gamers? This is Lumnix bringing you another episode of Supreme Commander. Today we're gonna go over a strategy that I call transport drop. So the transport drop strategy, and this map is a 20 by 20. It's the biggest map that I showcase, and it's gonna include a little bit of naval warfare. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to the map. This is the map. It's called Ranaka Biz, I believe. It's a 20 by 20 map, and it's the biggest map that I showcase. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get the match started. This is a replay that I've done. This is a game that I played a while back. The reason why I'm using this replay is because I have not run into a match or a map where I'm able to use this strategy efficiently. Although I will in the future show you when I run into that situation. I play to win, and I don't play strategies just to play them or try them. I use strategies when I need them and when it's gonna work in the situation. Say good luck, have fun. That's always nice to say. Always say good luck, have fun. On the north side, you have me, Lubnix, building my first T1 land factory, and my rival on the south is starting off building an air factory. Alright, so you're probably wondering, why are you building a land factory if it's all air and sea kind of map? Well, there's still land, and the land like has everything on it. It has all the mass extractors. That's where you build your power generators. You need land. Like, land is so critical in this type of map. Like, it might be a tiny little piece of island, but what's gonna happen when your enemy drops like 2 tanks and you don't have anything to defend the land with? I'll tell you what's gonna happen. You're gonna lose, and it's not gonna be fun. Okay? So let's go ahead and check out what my rival is doing. He's still working on his air factory, I can see. And of course, I am working on my power generators. My PGens. Power generators are abbreviated by saying PGens, okay? And I have my engineers. A mistake that I've made here is not move these engineers faster. They should be doing something. I just have them just sitting there. My opponent is spreading out his engineers, going ahead and building some mass extractors, reclaiming. At this point, my rival might be a little bit ahead of me. I'm building mass extractors. I should be reclaiming. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've seen this replay, so just consider that I've been learning as I went. So I grew more experience as the time gone by. Okay. So my rival is focusing on his air units. He's building engineers. You can build engineers from any type of factory, okay? As long as it's a factory, you can build engineers from it, okay? So what am I doing? Still building power generators, and I'm building my second land factory. Lumnix, what are you doing? Why are you building all land units? You need air units before your enemy destroys you. Well, don't worry, guys. Don't worry. The important thing is that my island is going to be protected from any type of land invasion. Right now, naval invasion is not necessarily a problem, because I will explain to you that land units take more mass and energy. Air units take more energy than mass, and naval units take a lot of both. So to make naval units, you need quite a good amount of resources to start producing them, and you need a good chain of resources coming in your pocket to be able to produce them efficiently, okay? So my rival is over here still spreading around, still working on some engineers, and I'm still working on some more power generators, because you need a lot of power generators to build that air factory. Just keep that in mind. I'm already starting to produce tanks to get control of my own land. I don't want to lose control of my land. Maybe he's going to drop units in my land. I need to make sure I protect my land with, well, land units, okay? I can't fight air with land, unless they're bombers. That's the only way, guys, but bombers don't survive often, I tell you that much, man. Bombers are like a sacrificial tool that you use to take down specific infrastructure. At least that's what I would use it for. And, you know, if you really want to take something down, just build a bunch of bombers and just do a suicide run on it if you have to. Okay, so I'm building my third land factory. Oh my god, I'm building all land. I know, but hey, I'm gonna be the one in control of all the land. And as my rival has already built it a T1 transport ship, that's what a T1 transport ship looks like. And what looks like he's gonna start moving these engineers. It looks like he's gonna pick up these engineers right here. He picked up the engineers. He's gonna move them to what looks to be this island over here. I'm still building power generators. I need all these power generators built so I can build these 2 air factories, okay? I already have plenty of land factories. I figured that's good enough. I have 3 land factories, and it's time to get some control of the air, okay? You need some control of the air after you get control of the sea, okay? I mean of the land. My enemy already started working on his T2 commander upgrade, which is going to give him the ability to build T2 structures with his commander, which is not really going to help him a lot, to be honest. Not at the moment, not in the early stage. He dropped some engineers right here and already is constructing a radar system, which is going to give him the ability to see around this area right here. Okay? Me, still building T1 land units, still building some engineers. My mistake right here is not making this land factory work. My guess at the moment, I knew that I could not produce units from this base, from this factory efficiently because of my resources were not really all there yet. I am building my air factory, and I'm already starting to build my first transport ship. As you can see, I already upgraded one of my mexes right here, which is so important. And this little tiny island is very critical to use the reclaim that you get to upgrade your mexes. Upgrade your mexes using the mass around your island. Don't just let it sit there. Okay, upgrade your mexes right away with the reclaim you have around your island. Okay, that's gonna be your best investment with those reclaim resources. Okay. My opponent has finished his T2 upgrade. My opponent on the little expansion island is still building air factories, which is such a huge mistake. Like if your enemy like drops even like 2, imagine if I drop 2 tanks right here, just 2 tanks, I could destroy his anti-air turrets. I can destroy his engineers. I can destroy everything with 2 tanks without any land units. That's all it will take. As you can see, I already picked up my land units with my transport ship, and they're on their way. As you can see, I did a ferry route. Whenever you ferry units, you can create like if you hold shift and click ferry, you will see that it creates 2 points. The units will always be dropped at the last point, so don't worry about my units falling right here. They won't. They will land in the last ferry point, and it's right here. Okay. And of course, I send interceptors behind my transport ship because I don't want to leave it unattended. I don't want to leave it by itself. My rival has dropped more engineers on the second island that belongs to him over here. Okay. And this strategy, in this specific map, in an island map, you can use it in all kinds of different island maps. That there's little islands and more. There's like a lot of body of water and, you know, islands. Okay. So it's a very efficient way to do things. You want to take over control of the, you know, rivals islands. So I'm gonna do my first drop right here. That anti-air does get me a little bit. Check that out. Oh man. Oh, but I managed to drop my units. He kills my transport. He kills my transport ship, but I successfully land my units. Ground units are in the ground. Like I said, look at what those tanks are doing, and it's way more than 2 tanks, guys. Way more than 2 tanks. My T1 transport, the Seraphim T1 transport can actually transport 8 T1 units. I dropped 8 T1 tanks with just 1 transport ship, and I'm just completely going to town on his island right here. He has not moved any of these units right here, which is a huge mistake. I'm not expanding to my own islands because I'm gonna use his islands as my own, so therefore I don't really need to use my islands, especially because I'm A, denying his islands to him, and 2, still having some islands that belong to me but really are his, me taking over them. Okay, I did more ground drops right here. I dropped more units right here just so I can get complete control of this island, fortify that island. I'm not gonna let it slide from my fingers. I'm not gonna let it slide from my fingers. I already have some more interceptors escorting my transport ships. Look at that escorting transport going to those islands. That's epic, guys. That's epic. Okay? Alright, so I'm going down. So I have complete control of this island now. There's nothing he can do about that anymore. I have complete control of that island. I am building a lot of T1 ground units. I want to build a lot of T1 ground units right here. I already upgraded my second mechs, which is amazing. Okay. Okay, so he barely started building T1 Entire. Guys, if you're gonna build Entire, if you're going to build Entire and little tiny islands, at least build them in the direction where your opponent might be dropping units or flying bombers over or something of that nature. Don't just build Entire in the middle of the island, because I can always drop it in the edge. Like for example, this little island. Okay, so he has Entire right here, right? But what about over here? I can drop it right here, and then I'll be still taking over the island. Now right here I do pull an oopsie. So just learn from my mistake, is that I accidentally, as you can see, I ferried them by accident into the water. So I actually destroyed my own troops. But not to worry. I already have another transport ship. Picking up units from the ground. Yeah, yep. Look at that. Yep, there goes my tanks. They're dead. But it's okay because my artillery survived, because it's amphibious. Amphibious means that it can be both on land and water. So I don't have to worry about that. I completely took over this island now. Here, there's not even one engineer of his anymore on this island, okay? On this island, he has dropped 4 more engineers. He's not really doing anything with them. He has built 4 naval factories. Is that gonna help him right now? Not really. Started building my own, because don't want to get caught off without any naval units in a naval map or a sea map. Just a lot of island map. You want to have naval units too. Okay. So as you can see, I'm just waiting for backup right here. I don't wanna send just these 2 units by themselves, because the reason, if there were tanks I would have, but since these are T1 artillery, they're more vulnerable. As you can see, their health is only 170. Their damage is amazing. The damage application is amazing, but their health is not. So I waited for reinforcements. Here comes my reinforcements. They're dropping. They're gonna drop right here. They dropped. Alright, reinforcements have dropped. I can now successfully, with my tanks, which have, a lot more health. They have 280 health. I'm going to be able to successfully attack that island. My opponent is heavily focused on air and heavily focused on naval units. He's building a Tech 2 power generator. Let's check out his economy. His economy is so unhealthy. So unhealthy. Look at that power. Oh my god. It's so unhealthy. Very unhealthy economy. Let's check out my economy. My economy is doing well. Whenever it's a yellow negative sign, that still means that it's still being able to produce. Not as sufficient, but it's still being able to produce. As you can see, I'm able to just successfully take over this island with those ground troops. Guys, ground troops are going to take over your little tiny islands. There are a little bit of ground troops. That's all you need to take over little tiny islands, okay? What do you think is going to happen with the little tiny troops are going to fall in your tiny island without any ground defenses? I make a mistake right here. I probably was not paying attention, but those anti-air really grabbed my my transport ship, because I believe I was trying to drop some over here and I didn't realize he had anti-air right there. And those anti-air are just going to town on my interceptor. But not to worry, I have my tanks rolling over there, taking care of those anti-air turns. Don't want them there anymore. Okay? I have complete control of this island. My enemy's just holding still on this island. So the strategy is about denying my enemy his territory while expanding mine to his, and dropping units where he least expects it. Not only that, but in these types of maps, rivals tend to not focus on ground units, and they don't realize, and you should realize, that land units in a map like this that has to do with a lot of little tiny islands is very important. Because, well, they're little tiny islands, but it's still land, right? Alright, as you can see on this side, I completely destroyed his last chance of surviving there. I start building. Oh, look at that! He's starting to build a T1 anti-air right where I suggest you should build it. All right. So he's learning. That doesn't do him any good. I already have so many ground troops there. It doesn't really matter anymore, does it? He's lucky because I believe I couldn't see them. Yeah, I couldn't see it, but now I could. And now I realized that I needed to go ahead and kill him off. Okay? So that's exactly what I do. I move my troops in. So I go ahead and kill off anything else that he got right there. My rival is focused on upgrading these naval factories. Such a huge mistake. He didn't even begin building T1 naval units. That's horrible. I already started building my own T1 naval units. Already heading down to see if I can destroy anything. He has control of this island, but look at his mistake. I think I've said this already, but look at his mistake. He's building T1 anti-air. Where? In the middle of the island. I can still drop troops right here and just completely wreck his little tiny island, okay? That won't do him any good. That won't do him any favors. It looks like he already upgraded these mexes to Tech 2. He does have yeah, he has no control of any of his little islands. He has control of this island, and he's trying to get control of these, at least these little tiny islands. He's trying to get at least some resources. Alright? So I have control of this island. I have air control, land control of this island right here. Epic. So I already have more troops heading down to those islands, just so I can reinforce. I have more transport ships being built, more interceptors being built, so I can go ahead and reinforce my transport ships. I don't want to leave them by themselves, and I definitely don't want them being shot down with troops in them, because you lose all your troops in them. Something I should mention is that these are frigates. These frigates act as an anti-air unit as well, so they actually shoot at the air as well. Okay, so that's very useful. That's very awesome, guys. Very, very useful to have. Frigates are a very critical part of the naval phase of your army. He's still dropping engineers on those little tiny islands, trying to get as many resources as he possibly can. I'm reinforcing this island. I need to drop an engineer over here and start building on this island, okay? Because it's acting like my island, okay? Notice that I leave my side of the field alone, but I use his side as my side, and at the same time, I deny him the resources that are on that island, okay? So I already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 naval factories. I decided to stop building on my T1 land factory at the moment, just so I can go ahead and work on my naval factories. That's the reason I stopped production. You see that symbol that has that no, I guess, off sign, you can call it? Yeah, that means they're off at the moment. They're not producing, but because I'm putting my resources to the naval yards right now. Okay, my opponent has already finished upgrading several of his naval factories, and this is a Tech 2 torpedo boat. Look at that. That's a torpedo boat. Just shoots torpedoes. Definitely feels confident to be a powerhouse in the naval warfare there. I dropped troops right where I told you I was gonna drop troops because he left it open. He managed to shoot me down right there, but that's not a problem. Guess what? Guess what? I already have control of his land. That's it. That's all it took. Guys, don't neglect your land units. Don't neglect your land units on this little tiny islands, guys. You see that you have little tiny islands, and you neglect your land units. That just is a recipe for disaster. Okay? You need ground control. So my enemy right here thinks he has the upper hand. He thinks he has the upper hand. He's building a lot of T2 naval ships right here, which are the torpedo boats. And as you can see, I noticed that it has only 1,750 health, and my frigate has 2,000 health. So I have more health than his, and I can produce more than him because, first of all, his economy sucks. First of all, and I will tell you that in this game, land units take a lot more mass than energy, air units take a lot more energy than mass, and naval units take a lot of both. Okay, so he's trying to fight me in the naval warfare with a bad economy. It's not gonna do him any good because I outnumber him. I will outnumber him. I mean, think about it. I have more health. Okay, I have more health on my frigates, and I have more of them. So who's gonna win that battle? Me. I'm gonna win that battle, guys, because I outnumber him and I out health him. As you can see, I have some troops heading this way. Oh man, look at that. Look at those troops. Where do you think I'm gonna drop him at, guys? Yeah, look at, he doesn't even build intercept. He doesn't bother with intercept. He's so focused on the naval warfare of things over here. Which is a good naval battle, by the way. And this is where I do the drop. Check out that drop. That is what you call in this game an epic drop. Okay, I just completely destroy him. Look at those lines of troops right there being dropped. My troops just completely go to town on him. I dropped a lot of artillery there just so I could do as much damage as possible. Okay, and I already have my first T2 naval unit right there, so I can counter his, and it has a lot more health than he does. It has 6,900 health. And his units only have 1,750. Not even more health than my T1 naval unit. That's horrible. At this point, I try to do as much damage as possible. This is all artillery. Look at that artillery fire, man. Doesn't get any better than that, does it? Doesn't get any better than that, guys. I think not. That is epic. As you can see, I am outnumbering him. I'm outclassing him. I have my first T2 naval unit right here. It's not doing him any good right there. It's not doing him any good at all, actually. Alright. And I am just completely going to town on his base right here. Why? Because he has no land control of anything. I have complete land control of his little island. Guys, I know they might be little, but that's where you build your factories, that's where you build your power generators, that's where you build your mexes. You need control of these little tiny islands with what? Land units. You can't get control of land with naval units. At least not in the beginning. Maybe when you have a lot of cruisers you can. But trust me, it's going to take a lot to get to that phase. At this point, I don't care about anything else. I try to kill off his resources. I try to kill off his resources and his naval yards, okay? So there I go, trying to kill as many resources as possible. And then I just focus down his naval yards, okay? At this point, I'm outnumbering him. I'm outclassing him right here. He's going down. I hit him hard right here, guys. That is a big blow to him. Like, it's gonna be extremely hard to recover from that. I am entirely on his side. I already took control of his island. And check it out. This is a proper way to do it. I have land units and I have control of the land, and it's gonna be hard for him to get control of that land with land units now, because I'm the first one to have land units there. Okay, so I'm gonna keep control of that island. So my troops might be gone, but I think at this point he decides to surrender because he just doesn't see a way back from this. He already notices that I have T2 naval units, and that was his best hope. He put all his cookies in that jar. He put all his coins on that jar. He couldn't. When he lost that battle, he figured, okay, it's over. So what did you learn in this episode is that in this type of map specifically, this type of gameplay where you drop units, land units, is very critical because you want control of the little tiny islands. Don't ever let your opponent do that to you. Make sure that you protect your islands. Do land units. Don't neglect your land units. And have fun. Do you have any comments about this strategy? Leave any comments below. Subscribe to Illumnix or to my channel, Moreality TV/gaming. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this helps you become a better Seraphim player and helps you on this map that is 20 by 20 Runak Abyss. Okay, have a good day, guys. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.